if you want to understand and manage others, you definitely have to learn how to manage yourself. So any expectation that you think that you want to put on someone else, any other type of goal, you first have to know if you first have to show if you are capable of doing that. I want to share a story first about self-management and how it actually is going to do a lot of the work for you when you're thinking about team management. And this is when I had about 6 employees working from my home. I'm a crazy person, so this was how it was going down. And we would all work at the dining room table every single day. And along with that comes they're in your home. They see a lot of how you're living, a lot of how you manage your life. And we had 6 different employees at the time. And the crazy thing is at the time, Chris and I were, and we still are, we're really into our health, right? We always believe that how you take care of yourself and what you put into your body is going to affect your work and how you feel and your energy and your confidence and how you feel about yourself. So what would happen is we'd get these different new employees who would come into the house, and we would notice that as a result, they would kind of come to us and say, hey, I am feeling so good. I'm getting in better shape. I've lost 10 pounds working in your house. And we're like, what? And they're like, it's a couple of reasons. And let me tell you why. And I'm like, this is the craziest, kind of coolest thing ever. They're like, number one, we're always seeing what you're doing. So it's easy for us to understand how this can be done. Number two, you guys deal with your stress, always talking about maybe going for a walk or taking care of yourself, right? Making sure that you put yourself first. And then number three, they said, when you're surrounded by people who are doing the goals, who are doing the healthy things, you actually want to make a different decision. You want to make different choices. You're so impacted by your environment that it wears on you. And what was happening is that by a result, they weren't even putting much effort into it or thinking about it. And they were going, oh my gosh, 3 months in, 6 months in, we had one girl lose 20 pounds. It was like, I wasn't even really thinking about doing this. It's because I'm here every day for this amount of time that this is what has impacted me. So I thought this was such a cool way to share with you that when we lead with ourselves first, when we take care of ourselves, it's not in vain. It is not selfish. It's going to teach the things that you want within the people who are in your team and that you want around you. So think of the ways that you would love people to show up. And that is how we have to lead ourselves first. It's really hard to ask people to do personal development, to read books and tell us about them, to read books within our company, right? And not be doing it ourselves, because they pick up on that real fast. Like, think of how smart you guys are. This is how smart all the people we are that we're working with. It's like, okay, she's not doing any of that and she's not living her life this way. So I don't really feel like I have to do it. And what happens is resentment can build around that, or they can talk about it. And it kind of creates this culture that's not great, right? So it doesn't mean that you have to be doing everything that they're doing, but it does mean that you have to be pushing yourself in ways that you're asking for them to push themselves. So another big thing that I learned in the self-management area, and this was one of the most important parts for me of not only managing self, but learning how to manage others, was really learning how to control my responses and emotions. And I don't know about you guys, put a yes in the chat box if you feel like sometimes when you are triggered or when you feel like people aren't hearing you or listening to you or things aren't going right, like you kind of want to respond in a very reactive way, or you want to give your opinion right away. And one of the biggest things that I have learned is to let that charge dissolve before I make any decisions or have any conversations. So learning how to allow all of my emotions to dissolve around a topic before I end up going into the topic, right? Like really self-managing my emotions and understanding that at the beginning in the front of an emotion when you first get it, right? Of anything that's coming into your realm. Maybe it's a comment on social media. Before I do anything, I let that kind of like wash over me like a wave, right? It feels like a tidal wave at first, and it kind of can leave your body because it's actually you like metabolizing the chemicals that you have created from this emotion. So if you can think of it like that, when you're triggered, you actually kind of metabolize that chemical reaction that goes throughout your body, and it will start to go down. So that's been huge for me to be able to start to react in a way that I want. So let's move into our relationship, employee, partner management portion. All right. So the first thing that came up around even before I started thinking about doing this that I wish I could go back and do for the team members that came on with me in the early stages. So you guys, I had hired a couple of assistants in the early phases of my business, a couple different employees, and I did not really have a mission, a vision, core values. I was just like, you're hired now. You should know what to do. Like, I didn't even know how to tell them what I needed them to do in their job because I honestly didn't know. It was just like, help me. My inbox is overflowing. I feel like I don't know what to do with customer service. So just literally everything. I didn't know how to lead them. And this is okay. I wouldn't even know what to do or how to help my people show up for their job, right? So helping them gain clarity comes with you getting a lot of clarity first. And that's what mission, vision, core values is going to do. And here's the coolest part for me as well around mission, vision, and core values is that it really helped me to lead them, and it helped me when they were off track to bring them back. Because I don't know about you, but one of the hardest things of being a leader and becoming someone who manages people was the hard conversations around when they're not doing maybe what I expected, or they're not following, or they're not following maybe the core values or the vision. Is that a tough thing for you guys? Is it really, really hard to lead people and have tough conversations? That was the biggest thing, is having these guiding points that when things aren't going right, you can say, let's get back to the vision and core values, because what I'm seeing is that, we're going in this direction and we actually want to be over here. So it's a guiding back instead of I just don't like this and I can't tell you why, right? It's because it's straying from the vision and core values of how we treat each other, of what's expected, of where we want to go, of how we want to move forward, of the way that this whole thing of how we're all going to get on board together and work as a team and move forward, right?
This can be your day for personal growth. This can be that day you committed to and you remember and you go, that was the day I got myself a community. I got better coaches. I committed to making my life the absolute best that I could. This is that day. Make today your growth day. Click the button on this page and sign up right now.